Have you guys been wondering why people in the modern society always seem on edge, seem disgruntled? In today's video, I'm going to break down the loneliness epidemic that the WHO just declared. And on top of that, we have to address the suicide lines that are being overwhelmed at the moment. All these things can be easily fixed, but the question is, will they be fixed? So in today's video, I'm going to break down these two sources, how we got here, and what the future looks like. And in my honest opinion, before we get too far into the video, I do not really see things getting much better. It might get a little worse before it gets better. But before we get too far into the video, I need you guys to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. If you guys want to support the channel, all the ways you can support are in the description below. So, the suicide lines. So due to mental health and due to, we spent $1 billion trying to build up the suicide line and help people with mental health problems, which all in all, I don't think is a bad thing. I think the intended use was a good thing. But it turns out it's not really helping. It's not very effective. In the article that I was reading, it clearly stated that they kept having repeat callers. On top of that, they were gaining new callers every day. And the supply couldn't keep up with the demand. So guess what? We have worker shortages in those fields. And so a lot of these mental health patients that need help and calling these suicide lines, they're not receiving help. And they're so overwhelmed that they're having to cut the calls back and cut back from the repeat callers just so they can help the people, the new people that are actually in big need. Now, this goes back. See, we live in a society now where we promote lies to people. And these lies are destroying people's whole lives. Because you make this program to help the people, but all of a sudden it's not helping the people. So guess what? You're going to have to help yourself. And I'm going to get into some ways that you can help yourself. But they're going to say, hey, you need these pharmaceuticals. They're going to feign you off, push you off. They're going to direct you into Big Pharma's hands, which you're going to say, hey, you just need a pill to calm down. And so you're going to end up being a drug addict on these pills. And when you're not using these pills, the problems are still arising and still coming back in your life. On top of that, we have body positivity where, hey, it's okay to be fat. When actuality, I've never seen a fat person that was content and really happy being fat. If you could snap them into an in-shape person, they would do it in a heartbeat. But yet we promote these lies and we promote these agendas. And ultimately, it culminates mental health issues. Now, let's get into the loneliness thing because this is legit becoming a problem, especially from ages 18 to 24. The amount of social interactions they have calculated has dropped 10 hours per week, and it has dropped over 20 hours. I forget what the actual statistic is, but I think it's like 20 hours less than usual, I think in a particular month, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you want to look up these articles, you just click WHO epidemic release. So loneliness, if you guys know what the most harshest penalty is in prison, is solitary confinement. Because being by yourself and not being able to socialize like a social creature that we are, that validation that we don't get from other people hurts us more than anything. It's just like the child. You can give the child food, water, or a baby food, water, and shelter. But if the child doesn't get that interaction where you pick it up and talk to it, the child will pass away. And this is what the loneliness is doing. This is why they've connected this with different health issues, because people just can't take being by themselves. Now, all of these things stem from the recent virus where everybody had to stay inside. But here's the thing. They pushed us to be inside, but then they never pushed us to ever go back outside. They never pushed us to go outside. So people just stayed inside. Businesses just came up with different tactics to use if another pandemic hit, which basically is fast forwarding this robotic technological advancement. People are working at home now, right? People aren't going out to meet people. They're going on dating apps. They're playing video games. They're watching adult content to get their orgasms off. So we're getting to a point now where you can just do damn near everything in your house. And I've talked about this before. You can do everything in the majority of the society, and it's only going to get worse 10 to 20 years from now, where the majority of the things that you need to get done can be done while you're in your house, from a computer, from a phone, making phone calls, writing papers. And so the loneliness epidemic, they're going to try to organize a strategy to try to get people, to push people to be more social. But how are you going to do that without taking away all the technologies that make us less social? As a matter of fact, in the article, it breaks down how these things were already declining before the virus. And that's because technology is making things easier. And that's one of the pros and cons. Everything has a trade-off, guys. The more technological we get, the less effort we put in. Look at ChatGPT. I mean, schools are getting tired or don't want people to use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is going to be the world. You're going to be behind in the real world. Now, granted, you're going to be probably stupider because you're depending on the chat. But if you're not using the chat, you're not going to be ahead of the competition, especially if you're trying to be a business person. You see how all these things have trade-offs. You see how all this is kind of self-inflicted wounds. And I'm anxious to see what kind of solutions they come up with, because on top of all this, we have inflation, which is one of the other reasons why you never see people going out anymore or buying gifts or anymore, is because they don't have the money to fund the basic things, to enjoy a holiday, to enjoy a dinner. They're at home struggling, trying to figure it out as their wages stay the same and inflation rises. So all of this is just a cluster of problems that we are having in our society. And if we don't correct it relatively soon, in the next 5 to 10 years, it's just going to be a part of an avalanche going downhill that's already building up as we speak. So if you guys want to get some better results out of especially if you're a person in the suicide line, guys, there's no money in people telling you this, which is why they don't tell you this, which is why they tell you to go to get a prescription. But if you want to fix your problems, you go hit the gym. That's going to make you more healthy. On top of hitting the gym, eat correctly at least half the time. It's going to put the right toxins in your body, make you more productive, give you more energy throughout the day. Just those two things by itself is going to correct 50 to 60% of your problems. And then on top of that, you can read the news and all this different stuff when it comes to business and learning different things and reading books and pushing your mind to be more astute and more sharp. So I'm anxious to see what you guys think about this subject. So if you guys have lasted this long, I need you guys to comment your thoughts if you've seen this in your personal life. And just if you see this ever getting better. So on the way out, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. I appreciate you guys watching to the end. You guys have a good day, good week. See you in the next one, man. Peace.